Act 2, Scene 3, Part 2. So previously we had seen that the most sacrilegious murder has been committed. That is, most unholy thing has happened on earth, and because the representative of God, the deputy of God himself on earth, that is King Duncan, has been murdered. And Macbeth and Lennox enter into Duncan's chamber to see it. Awake, awake. Macduff is saying, awake, awake. Ring the alarm bell. Murder and treason. Banquo and Donalbain. Malcolm, awake. Shake off this downy sleep. Death's counterfeit. And look on death itself. So, ring the bell. Ring the alarm bell. Make everybody aware. Wake up everybody and make them aware of what has been done. It is murder. It is treason. It is treachery. It is deceit that has taken place. Let Banquo, Donalbain, Malcolm, everybody know what has taken place. So shake off, people, shake off the downy sleep. Shake off this comfortable sleep that has held you to your bed for so long, and look what has happened. Look at death itself. Up, up, and see the great doom's image. See the picture of death itself. Malcolm, Banquo, as from your graves rise up. So, are you dead? Why are you not awake? Why can't you see what has happened and walk like sprites to countenance this horror? So, wake up from your graves like ghosts and look for yourself the horror of death that has taken place. Ring the bell, and this bell that rings, it also symbolizes the Christian belief of ringing the bell on doomsday, that is on the last day of judgment. So the end of this world has come, the end of good has come, and this is doomsday as if. So Lady Macbeth comes in. What's the business? So what's the purpose? Why is the trumpet being blown? That such a hideous trumpet calls to parley the sleepers of the house. Why this trumpet, which is again signifying the last trumpet that will be blown to wake up all the dead on the day of judgment, on the doomsday. And parley is the conference of people. So why are you calling for an immediate meeting with this trumpet? So we are bringing people who are sleeping right now for an immediate meeting. What's the purpose? Macduff, oh gentle lady, it is not for you to hear what I can speak. So it's not for you. You're too fragile to hear what I have to say. What is the purpose? Now, the reputation in a woman's ear would murder as it fell. As soon as you hear it, you'll die. You will be murdered when I tell you what has happened. Oh Banquo, oh Banquo, oh Banquo, Banquo, our royal master is murdered. Lady Macbeth, woe alas. So horrible, horrible, it's horrible. What, in our house? Banquo, too cruel anywhere. So not just in your house, it is a cruel thing, a terrible event, a miserable thing to happen anywhere. Dear Duff, I prithee contradict thyself and say it is not so. So he urges Macduff that don't say this, don't utter this. So I request, I urge you that correct yourself, and that you are not saying this, that you are not saying that the great King Duncan is dead. I beg you. Macbeth, had I but died an hour before this chance, I had lived a blessed time. For from this instant there is nothing serious in mortality. All is but toys. Renown and grace is dead. The wine of life is drawn, and the mere lease is left this vault to brag of. So this dialogue of Macbeth is again important because he is actually saying the truth. So this is ironical. He is pretending to express his sorrow or to be sorrowful in Duncan's death, but whatever he says is actually having a literal meaning in his own life. That is, he had lived up to this moment, up to this very moment, he really had a very honorable life, and therefore it would have been better if he had died before this moment, before King Duncan's death, because he had a blessed time, and from this instant, there is nothing serious in mortality, and there is nothing good left in life, because now he will be bearing the consequence of the murder that he has committed, the result of his over ambitiousness. All is but toys, so we are nothing but puppets, and in the hands of time, and there is nothing worthy left. There is nothing worth living for, so there is nothing worth achieving now on. Renown and grace is dead. So the person who has given us the grace of life, the elegance, the honor of life, the graceful, renowned King Duncan itself is dead. The wine of life is drawn. So the very source of life, spirit, energy, it has been exhausted. Life is all meaningless from now on. All grace and distinction are dead. It also signifies this wine thing, it also signifies that as if it is a wine cellar, it is a wine vault, and the best wine has already been taken off, and so there is nothing left, nothing worthy left, nothing valuable left, and it is only left with lees. Lees is dregs, the remnants, the unworthy remnants are left. So there is nothing that you can boast of anymore. Brag is boasting. So life is completely meaningless, worthless from now on. Donald Bain. What is amiss? So what's wrong? You are, and do not know it? The spring, the head, the fountain of your blood is stopped. The very source of it is stopped. So Macbeth, he says that yes, there is wrong. There is wrong. There is something which is not in place. And that is the fact that you don't know what has happened. So by the word you are, so you are wrong means you are not expected, or you are wrong. So it also might indicate that you will be removed next, because he is obviously, being the son, he is the one who is next to be executed to make his dream successful. And therefore he says, the spring, the head, the fountain of your blood. So the very source of your life, of your blood, is gone. So the legacy is gone. So the source from which your royal blood comes has been stopped. Macduff, your royal fathers murdered. Malcolm, oh, by whom? Lennox, those of his chamber, as it seemed, had done it. Their hands and faces were all badged with blood. So were their daggers, which unwiped we found upon their pillows. They stared and were distracted. No man's life was to be trusted with them. So, as it is clearly evident, the guards themselves had committed this hideous crime, this miserable deed, and because their hands, faces, their swords, their daggers, everything was stained with blood of Duncan, and which unwiped we found upon their pillows. So it was lying beside their pillows. And see, look how they are staring at our face, and they looked distracted. And no man's life was to be trusted. So they were totally in utter confusion. It reflects. They stared at us in confusion, and they shouldn't have been entrusted with the duty of somebody's life. So there they had proven themselves as totally unworthy. Macbeth. Oh, yet I do repent me of my fury that I did kill them. So he says, but yet I do regret that in the fit of rage, after hearing such a news, I had already killed them. Macduff. Wherefore did you so? Did you so? So wherefore means why. Why did you do so? Macbeth. Who can be wise, amazed, temperate, and furious, loyal, and neutral in a moment? No man. So after hearing the news, it had bewildered me so to such an extent that I just couldn't calm myself. So I couldn't calm myself, I was furious, and I was so utterly loyal to him, and I couldn't have been neutral to this whole incident. In a fit of rage, in a fit of temptation, in a fit of moment, I had done this. The expedition of my violent love outrun the pauser, reason. So the expedition, the very fact that the love that I hold for Duncan has caused me to my immeasurable love for Duncan has surpassed my reason, and I couldn't take a pause before I committed the assassination of these drunken guards, or of these guards. Not here lay Duncan, his silver skin laced with his golden blood, so fair skin with the blood, and his gashed stabs looked like a breach in nature for ruin's wasteful entrance. So here is an imagery of the fair Duncan in a rich attire, in a rich garment. So that's why blood is said to be golden. Duncan's wounds were like a break in the shoreline where the sea's destruction has broken in. When his blood, the precious blood of Duncan, was splattered all over, and his gashes, the wounds, the stab mark, and on the other side there were the murderers steeped in the colors of their trade. So the murderers, the guards dripping with blood, their daggers unmannerly breached with gore. So their daggers being so indecently exposing what they had done, and being so full of dripping with blood of Duncan, dripping with the thick blood, the gore of King Duncan. Who could refrain? Who could stop? And who could not commit what I had done, that had a heart to love, and in that heart courage to makes love known. So I had the courage to make my love for King Duncan to be felt evident, and I wanted to show, and I couldn't stop myself from spontaneously showing, from revealing how much of love I had for Duncan. Lady Macbeth, help me hence, ho. So she just pretends to swoon, to fall unconscious, just to avoid more of this drama, and therefore she is taken away. Macduff, look to the lady. Malcolm, aside to Donalbain. Aside again is a very important element, is a very important device used in plays. So in this aside, it is only Donalbain who hears whatever Malcolm is speaking, and nobody else. Why do we hold our tongues, that most may claim this argument for ours? And then he's saying that why is it so that we, who have been the ones who are directly and shall be greatest of all will be affected, then why are we unable to express our horror and grief at this moment? Donalbain, what should be spoken here, where our fate, hid in an auger hole, may rush and seize us? Let's away, our tears are not yet brewed. So this is not the right time to show what we have to say. So let's just leave this place. So our fate or our destiny may be secretly hiding here somewhere, and it's ready to rush out and seize upon us. So it is better that we hide ourselves, and let us hold back our tears till it is the right moment to express it. And auger hole is like a small little hole made with a sharp pointed tool. So the least little corner that we can find, and let us get to that safe haven and escape from here for now. That's the best thing to do. Malcolm, nor our strong sorrow upon the foot of motion. So there is yet time for us to take our grief and turn it into action. Revenge, obviously they're talking about avenging the death of their father. Banquo, look to the lady, and when we have our naked frailties hid that suffer in exposure, let us meet and question this most bloody piece of work. To know it further, fears and scruples shake us. In the great hand of God I stand, and thence against the undivulged pretense I fight of treason, malice. So let us get adequately dressed, properly dressed, because to protect ourselves from the cold, because they had just been out suddenly from their bed chambers, and therefore he wants themselves to get dressed properly and then meet and discuss this bloody crime, to see if they can, with their reason, solve out what has happened, find out what has happened, and fears and scruples shake us. So we are both under the spell of horror as well as treachery and doubts. There are numerous doubts that shake us in the great hand of God. So he's putting himself into God's command, into God's, and he's trusting in God to show him the right path, to guide, to avenge, to fight against the secret plot that has been hatched, and who is behind the temptation of taking, of winning, or snatching away the crown. Undivulged pretense, the unrevealed claim to the crown. Let us find out who is there. I fight of treasonous malice. So let us fight against this treacherous murder that has taken place. Macduff, and so do I. All. And so let's, yes, I'm ready. So everybody is ready to fight, to avenge King Duncan's death. Macbeth, let's briefly put on manly readiness and meet in the hall together. So let's gather all the courage for now, get back, and let's get dressed and come to the hall for an immediate meeting. Well contended. So yes, that's planned. So let that happen. All agreed. That kind of a thing. Now, Malcolm, what will you do? Let's not consort with them. To show an unfelt sorrow is an office, which the false man does easy. I will to England. So Malcolm and Donalbain are found talking to each other, and they say, let's not associate ourselves with them. Let's not be here. Let's not believe any of these people here. And for a hypocrite, a false man can easily, he is in a practice, an office, is an office. So he's an expert in deceiving, and he can easily show the false remorse, the false sorrow that he actually doesn't feel for King Duncan. So it is very unclear who has committed the crime, and it is dangerous to stay here and be in the surrounded by people who could probably be the murderer. So let's not be surrounded by hypocrites or judge who is what. It is not the right time, and we don't know who is the honest one here. So let's leave immediately, and I'm going to England. Donalbain to Ireland. So Donalbain to Ireland and Malcolm to England. You should remember this detail. Our separated fortune shall keep us both the safer. So our separate paths shall keep us safe. Our separate destinies shall keep us safe. Where we are, the daggers in men's smiles. The near in blood, the nearer bloody. So the more the more we are surrounded by these people, the smiles are nothing but daggers. So they are potential murderers. So we can't trust on anyone around here right now. The closest of relatives can be our closest of enemies. So relatives can be the best enemies for now. It is the question of the crown, the power, and therefore the nearer the bloody. So the nearer we are to people, to associate ourselves with the people, so the more the danger. Therefore, let's leave immediately. Malcolm, this murderer's shaft that's shot hath not yet lighted, and our safest way is to avoid the aim. Therefore, to horse, and let us not be dainty of leave-taking, but shift away. There's warrant in that theft, which steals itself when there's no mercy left. So the last two lines here of Donalbain's speech, that there's daggers in men's smiles, the near in blood, the nearer bloody. This is important. And again Malcolm's last two lines, that there's warrant in that theft, which steals itself when there's no mercy left. Now, so this murderous plot has just been hatched. It has the main game has just begun, and we will be safest if we can avoid the scheme, the plot against us, turning against us right now. Therefore, to horse. Therefore, let us take our horses immediately and leave, and let us not be dainty of leave taking, but shift away. So we shouldn't be polite in a polite and do the bidding goodbyes and the ceremonious way or something, but without any sort of etiquette or whatever to be shown right now, we should leave. For the murderous shaft, shaft is the arrow here which has been shot already, but it has not yet reached its destination, because just by murdering King Duncan, the throne cannot be achieved. Because in that path, Malcolm and Donalbain would come, and therefore both of them are also in the path of the final destination, the throne, the crown. There's reason enough, there's warrant, there's justification enough to be prudent now to save one's own life when mercy isn't available anywhere anymore. So that's it. That's the end of Act 2, Scene 3, Part 2. We shall come up with Act 2, Scene 4 soon.